guys are. So I'm going to be emceeing tonight. I'm Doug Miller. I want to thank all of you for being here, but I also want to personally thank the parents for supporting the students as they've gone through the 4 years of education and coming to this point. Also for the 2 years of being this odd animal called a cinematic arts student and producing these films and going through the creative angst and all the issues and the frustration and the lack of confidence and everything that goes into making a short film. Well, we're at the end of it. I want you all to applaud each other right now. This showcase has gotten better and better every year. Not only has the content gotten better, but also the surrounding, the ceremony, the celebration. And every year we've continued to try and make it more centered on you, on the students, on who you guys are. This department is unique in a lot of ways, as I'm sure you all know by this point in time. And one of the things that we're celebrating tonight is community. It's family. You guys have sweated. You've spent long hours together. You've committed to one another, whether you liked each other or not. And you've come out the end of this with something that is incredibly praiseworthy. You've come out with this, an education, but also a maturity. It's not just information, but it's creativity. It's the ability to plumb the depths of who you are and reach deep when you're tired and you don't think you have anything more, and still be able to work on it and put it out on the screen. So that's what we're celebrating tonight. We're also going to obviously be giving some awards. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit, but that's tonight. And tonight is your night. Tonight is a time to celebrate one another and to celebrate the conclusion of this season. Now, there's some people that we wouldn't be here without. And because of them, we're here. We've been growing and building. So we're going to do some introductions and hear from some of those folks in just a little bit. And we're going to go through the process of congratulating you from a bunch of different perspectives. So I think, Micah, can we move to the next bit of information? So we're going to start, I think, with an appropriate place, and Professor Nelson is going to open us with prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to be here. Lord, we ask you to be in the midst of us tonight as we just celebrate. We celebrate the time together, all these filmmakers together, the work that they have put into their projects, the parents, the friends, everyone involved. Lord, we praise you that through this entire process, these students have grown, not only in their techniques and their skills, Lord, but in their walk with you. And Lord, just that their stories have continued to spill out the true nature of who you are, Lord. That everything that we do is about you. And Lord, we just ask you, Holy Spirit, to be here tonight. Let us have a great time and celebrate these films and these accomplishments, but also, Lord, just always remember that we're celebrating you. We praise you, Father, for this time. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
One of the things that we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the Lord. And so a big part of tonight is giving him the honor, giving him the glory. And we're still ahead. Wow, we're moving right along. Watching it count. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So I'd like now to introduce the Dean of the School of Visual and Performing Arts, Mr. Dr. Scott Hayes. Not doctor yet, but he's on his way.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks. Okay, so a lot of you don't know me, and if you're graduating, you'll see me on Saturday, and I'll shake your hand. We'll take a good awkward picture. But just a little, tiny little bit of background, some a commonality that I have with you. In my graduate program, it was connected to a film school. I went to acting school, it was connected to film school, and what we thought unique at the time is that there was a program where they created a feature film with a combination of all the film students and then a smattering of the theater students, and everybody else was a professional. And so in my first year of graduate school, I received my SAG card because of being part of this, and then my SAG career enabled me to be able to live without a lot of theater work for about 5 years before things changed. So that's something that we have in common. Now take that story aside for a second, and I'll make a point. Genesis. In Genesis, we know that God is the creator, and we're called to imitate God. One of the first things that God did for Adam and Eve is that he created the trees that were both beautiful to look at and then had a practical purpose. And so as creators that imitate him, we are to do the same thing, make aesthetically superior work that has some sort of a practical entity. That's what puts this program in common with large public programs like mine. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't point back. Those programs don't point back to who gave you that creative spirit, who understands that, our creator. But there's something that's unique, something that this program does better than any program in the country, and all of you are products of this, is that my program, where I got my SAG card, that did a feature film, just like what's happened, not this year, but the last 2 years, and then the pilot this year, it was so aesthetically inferior that they never did it again. It never achieved a theatrical release, something that Liberty University did twice in 2 years. Why? Why? Because you understand that you have to create something aesthetically superior, and there has to be some sort of practical value, something that you understand, that this program from start to finish understands more than anybody else. Because ultimately, it's that combination of aesthetically superior work that then someone goes, well, what makes you different? And as 2 Peter says, you have to make a defense. And then if it's practical, people go, well, I think we're going to do a couple more of these. And so you get to use your specific skills that are of the highest level professionally to be able to give glory back to God, either overtly or covertly. I love the Cinematic Arts program here. I have great friends here for many years, even at other institutions. You are well supported because we all have this in common, that above all, we unite our aesthetic sensibility with the fact that we're brothers and sisters in Christ. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing many of you at graduation. Thanks.
Thank you, Dean Hayes. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the director of the program. And I asked specifically to do this because it was 8 years ago, I was at another institution, and I heard that Liberty University, it was at commencement, it was this time of year, that Liberty University was opening up a cinematic arts program. And I've got to admit it, I was kind of jealous. And then I learned more about it, and I learned about how and how different it was, and the fact that it was a mentorship and that it was practice and theory. It was all the things that you've gone through. And my soul longed to be a part of that. And then a year later, I interviewed, and I was luckily hired. And that man who interviewed me, and who was the one who came in faith with nothing here, is Mr. Stefan Schulze, and I'd like to have him come up and address you now. And I do know how to say your name, so I apologize for stumbling.
No worries. This is kind of scary, though. Do we have to leave this up the whole time? I want to recognize a couple people before I say, some thoughts here. And So this really has kind of stepped up significantly in terms of this production, and I think the people that were behind it really ought to be recognized. So Micah Johnson, Jonathan Howe, Doug Miller, Seth Hauser, and Amanda Melton. We owe you a great debt. Thank you for this. It's been great. So thank you. I also want to say that make sure your cohort professors and the professors that aren't your cohort professors that you take specific classes under, really you matter to them in a very significant way. And I want to make sure I just want to remind you to take a moment with them, because I've seen them in their offices late at night. I've seen them going out on shoots late at night. I've seen them praying for you guys and concerned in a very personal way for you. So please, before you leave, make sure you take a moment, track your professor down, and let them know you really have very specific thanks. So for the cohort professors, James Walls, who does sound, Lorene Wales, Danny Corrales, who holds up, and I would make sure you introduce yourself to him because he's helping to employ a lot of you out there in the field, and Chad Rogers, who runs our front office. Let's just say thank you to them. And then, I missed a couple here. No, Juan Navalis. I forgot to put him. Juan, thank you, my man. And I think the one thing I'll say about Juan is I think everybody agrees that the editing and the storytelling and the post side of things really changed. So thanks for joining the team. And then we have amazing GSAs, and I'd be remiss. They help set up this stuff today. They are constantly there. We use our GSAs very differently than most departments do here at the university, and when they become a GSA and come on board, they really step it up and are a part of us in a very personal way, and we're grateful for them, so thank you guys. And then we have our vault is really, really an amazing place, and Becky Bulbash is moving on, and Jessica also was there helping to set it up in a very amazing way for you guys over the past couple of years. So we're just grateful for their service at the vault. I think you made it smoother for us. Thank you. So I don't know where my time is, 12 seconds. That's obviously the clock's going to run the wrong direction. Because I'm going to take a minute here with you guys. It's been really fun to have a 2-year journey. And I unfortunately sit in an office a lot and do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff to support you guys. But the one time I really get to go out and do something with you is when we actually make a movie. This year ago, we did a very interesting film, I would say at the very least. I think that it gave you a great skill set. I think we crossed some barriers that Liberty has never crossed before in terms of we got 1,400 theaters and a distribution model. But what's I think very interesting about it, I mean, we did a movie about a guy who's suffering from PTSD. He has hallucinations. So we did a lot of, burning beds and effect shots and all kinds of fun stuff related to that. So again, your skill set. But I don't think that was really enough for the folks that wrote it and wanted to make the movie, because they ended up wanting to do a sequel, which was part of the movie that we shot. And the sequel was unique in that the lead actor really wasn't even in it. It was the second half of the film, until one pivotal scene where he came out and he actually said, hey, I was exercising and really kind of feeling good about myself. So suddenly the healing process was just totally removed from the film, and we had a whole almost sequel to it. I think you guys got a lot of scenes to learn how to eat muffins and, some dietary related things. But I think the skill set you gained from that, I think, was really, really rich and rewarding in terms of that. I saw a lot of really amazing movies as well this weekend. And my funnest part of the year really is when the lights dim and I get to watch your films. And I saw a wide variety of stories being told, from love stories to comedies to horror films related to the woods, which will be frightening me to ever go alone in the woods again. So it ran the gamut, Civil War period films. The skill set that you guys had was really amazing in terms of what you brought up to bear this year. And so you should really be proud of yourselves for doing it. I think a couple of films that I thought were unique is Birdie, I think, really redefined the love story in a way that's very unique. Typically you have the male and the woman's the supporting character, and they come along, they're kind of eye candy. And I'm glad to see in my career in education the classroom shift in a significant way. When I started, there was 90% men in the classroom and only 10% women. And that's changed significantly over the time, and I'm glad to see that. Birdie, I think, really crushed it this year because she made a movie where there were two characters in the film. It was a love story, a male and a female. And the female character actually got to be the protagonist and the antagonist. And the guy actually dies at the end of the film. So it was a pretty unique way of telling a love story. So, you know, Doobie made a very interesting film. And I appreciated it. If you don't know what yin and yang is, you got to watch his film, because I think he really clearly defined it, and he did it in an almost dogma style, and he worked hard at doing that to try to confine it to that, so that was a lot of fun. Katie really helped me understand what bipolar is, and I think I needed a copy of the film so I can take it to my doctor and say, this is what I got. Just watch the movie. Elijah... I'll say about Elijah, I thought my colostomy bag was going to explode when I saw Robert on the floor flailing around, burning in ashes with his dad, kind of looking over like, what's going on over here? So brilliant writing, and he did it in 2 hours. So Elijah, I'll just tell you, not only, Robert, do you have a career as an actor, but Elijah, if you can write that funny in 2 hours, you're ready for the writer's room. So be encouraged and go do it, brother. And Caleb, I've always talked about writer's block, and it's always a tough thing. And Caleb told me what the answer to writing writer's block is. It's sitting on a toilet and drinking 3 glasses of orange juice. So Caleb, if you didn't see the Q&A with him, it was really funny. And Caleb, thanks for the answer to the solution of that problem for any writer going forward. But I can tell you that I really do appreciate you guys. And you really matter to me. You matter to your staff, your faculty. You matter to the university. You guys will light up the world. And I know when you guys came here your junior year, I do this every year, I bring a compass out and I talk about following your north. And I tell you to write something down in your notepad. And it's that thing that limits your ability to be that person God has intended you to be. And you guys have it in you. And what I'd like you to do is to go back to that notepad, look at that thing you wrote down that said, no, you go ahead and get in front of me in line. Or, I'm just not quite good enough yet. It's that little voice that stops you from becoming the special, amazing person that God's intended you to be. And I want you to see how far you've grown away from that, how less resistant you are to listening to that voice. Because God has made you perfectly as you are. He's brought you with an intention to this program. He's making you a light to make a difference in someone else's life. And my wife always encourages me to say something about my life, and I always said, who wants to hear about my life? But I'll tell you one thing that's, I think, applicable. It's a person who changed my life when I was in the 7th grade. My brain moves extremely fast, and it was even faster when I was younger. And I had a lot of difficulty reading. In fact, I didn't read. I could read words. I knew what they were, but I could not read sentences, because by the time I got to the end of the sentence, I forgot what the beginning of the sentence was, because my brain was moving too fast. And I remember hiding under the stairwells in the school till all the kids had gone into their classrooms so I could sneak into special ed, so that none of my friends would know I went to special education. And I remember Mr. Campbell, who changed my life, when I said, repeat it, we kept repeating this one sentence again and again and again. And I looked at him and I said, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And he told me 3 words that changed my life. Can't, never, could. And I want you guys to know something. You can. Don't listen to that voice anymore. Stretch yourself, reach out, be a light to somebody. Give love to somebody who doesn't deserve it. Make a difference, not just in the job you have, but in the life of someone else as you go out in the world. It's been an incredible pleasure for me to be a part of this great organization that we have here, and I just feel like I'm a part of it. And I'm glad you guys have invited us into your lives for these 2 years, and I hope you've gotten a rich experience from it, and you'll make a difference in the world when you leave. Thanks.
You just heard his heart. I get to work with him and see his heart on a daily basis. So what a privilege to hear his heart today. What we're going to do, and I'm going to do it really quick, there we go. I thought this was something different. So some of the people that make this whole thing possible are the GSAs. So if they would come on up, and while they're coming up, these obviously aren't all the GSAs. These are the GSAs that worked with you guys. And so, did we decide who's going first? Jenna's going first. So they're going to just say a couple words, and here they are.
Hi, my name is Jenna. I've had the honor of being your GSA for the last 2 years. I'm going to try really hard not to cry. I've been involved with the program for the last 6 years, and I'm graduating on Saturday. And it's going to be really hard to say goodbye to you guys. When I was thinking about what I was going to say to you, I'm shaking so hard. Colossians 1:9 says, "For this reason, since the day we heard about you, we have not stopped praying for you. We continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of his will through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives." I have never been more inspired and encouraged by your creativity, your bravery, your tenacity, so much so that I actually tried to change my master's so that I could stay with you guys for a little bit longer, but God had different plans. I am so excited what God's going to do through you in Atlanta, in Los Angeles, in Nashville, in New York. The industry is really not going to know what hit them, so thank you.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say it has been awesome working with all of you guys. I've literally seen your projects through almost every stage from like, okay, we've got a locked picture and now we have a final mix. And I couldn't be more proud than watching all the films this weekend and hearing them in here, and it's just so cool. You guys absolutely killed it. Also, this is my first year as a GSA, and you guys have made my year. I mean, it's only my first, so it's my best. But you guys have been absolutely amazing, super special. And I also want to say, too, that being behind the scenes and seeing what goes on, I have a new appreciation for you guys as professors and how hard they work and just kind of what goes on behind the scenes to support you guys. So hopefully you guys feel incredibly supported and loved and know that I speak for myself. I'm sure this is for everybody else as well. Feel free to come back, say hey, call if you guys need help. I love audio, so if you need audio help, let me know.
All right, so just what I have for you guys, pretty short. Thank you for making the first semester as a GSA incredible. It was awesome to see you guys. I worked with you guys through the editing process for the parents. So it was awesome to see your post-production and see your films kind of go from just what you had shot into the final product that we saw yesterday. And some of them changed a lot over those last 2 weeks, let's say. So nice job, guys. And just a quick piece of advice that I'd have for you guys going forward is be bold, believe in yourself and the products that you have, your ideas, your aspirations. Be bold and push forward no matter how tough it gets.
A good job, y'all.
Thank you, Ella. Now the introduction of actually, that shouldn't be next either, should it? There we go. So, what we're going to do is have all of the professors that worked with you come on up on stage. And Mr. Navalis is going to be first. Actually, if all of you guys can come on up, and we'll cascade through. Yeah, right here. Step up on the T mark.
Thanks.
But if everybody's going to come up and give us a word and give you guys a word of encouragement. So, Mr. Navalis, it's yours.
Oh, thank you. So, just like Taylor, this is my first year here teaching as a professor. So I think it's, with that in mind, I can genuinely say without hurting any feelings, you're my favorite senior class graduating from LU. So Definitely want to say that. I've really, really enjoyed my first year here. Some of my favorite moments, genuinely, have been, especially in the fall, working with each of you as you went from your first assemblies all the way till your lock pictures, kind of working individually, seeing how each of your mind works. And as I've kind of seen in your minds, you've seen, oh my gosh, this is many of your first time going, what I've actually shot is not necessarily what I have to end up with, and keeping on fighting for getting your story, and that you can remix it, it can change, and I hope you take that with you as you go on out as well in your career. It was great to see many of you persevere. Many of you have had to remix your films to something you didn't intend it to be, but it became even better, and all that change has been just incredible to see. And also, I've seen a change in all of you, so just genuinely, it's been great working with you, and all the best as you go on. So, and keep in touch, please.
Now the audio guru of the world, Mr. Walls.
I asked them what they wanted me to talk about, and they didn't give me, so I prepared a 30-minute speech on room tone. So, actually, while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about, I was going through my jacket, and I noticed I had business cards from when I worked at my own studio. And clearly I haven't worn this jacket in 8 years, and I think part of the reason is why is because every time I put it on, my wife says it doesn't match with what I'm wearing. And so this time I told her, I said, you can't say it doesn't match, you have to like show me something that it would match with. So she found this for me. But what I want to say is you never know where God's going to take you. And 8 years ago I had no idea I would be here teaching at this university. I had no idea I would meet Mr. Schulze. And my advice for you as you go into the workplace is keep an open mind and keep an open heart for what God has in store for you. Throughout this journey, especially while you're in college, I think you get two really important things out of it. The relationships that you cultivate with each other will carry through the rest of your lives, and the ability to really finish well. And by graduating, by finishing your projects, I want to congratulate all of you for doing a job well done and finishing well. And that speaks volume to your future employer. And also, I want you to just relax, take this time with graduation and just enjoy it, because for a lot of you, this may be the last time that you're able to devote the amount of time that you have to a personal project that you have. So congratulations, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend. It was a pleasure to teach and mentor you throughout the way, so thank you.
At the beginning there were 4, and then there were 3, and then tonight there's 4 again. So the section professors who mentored you and walked with you, the first up, Mr. Hout.
Hey guys, I don't like pictures of me. So, as most of you guys know, this was my first year being a cohort professor. It's been a really good 2 years, or first 2 years being a cohort professor. The lights are too bright. Yeah, this is my first time being a cohort professor. First time through this process. I had done the minor before this, which was basically your first semester in the program, your junior year, and then I would do that all over again with another group of students, and that was weird and it was short. And it was great, but I didn't get a chance to really know people quite as well as I have with you guys. It's been a real privilege getting to work with all of you guys, whether, that's like Anthony. I remember reviewing his script many times, looking at revisions and loving it. Also, working through cuts and edits and stuff like that with you guys. Doobies was especially memorable for that, which, I ended up loving the film in the end. Seeing people go from shooting cycle projects that you wouldn't show your dog to seeing Olivia shoot Seams of War, which was gorgeous, or Caleb shoot Till Death Do Us Part, or all the stuff you guys have done. It's just been a real privilege being able to be with you guys and learn from you guys as well. I guess this is the point where we're supposed to tell you, like, what's that one last thing that, like, we want you to know. And if I could only tell you one thing, I would just tell you, never stop asking why. Never do anything without understanding how it works. Because if you don't understand how it works, you can't build on it. And you guys are at the very beginning of your careers, but it's not just a career, it's a craft. And in order to build a craft, you do have to understand the why and how everything works and what that person next to you is going through. And, try not to act on impulse. Try not to react before you know what's going on. And if you can do that, I think you can handle just about any situation you're going to come up against. So I don't know how much time I have. Oh, look at that. I'm going to time this perfect. So it's been a pleasure, guys. I'm going to hand it off to the next person, who is Mr. Wales.
I think we should name this segment Parting Shots. So you get a last shot at them.
All right. If you were in my cohort, I want you to stand up. I know, we're going to do this. I want you to stay standing because when I'm going to tell you something, I want to be able to see you. Now, this message is for you guys. It's for the whole cohort of 60 or however many we ended up with, but it's specifically for you guys. So I have 4 things I want to tell you. Number 1, I want to tell you that I love you. I enjoyed working with you guys so much. And it seems like just like 2 months ago, you guys were in the vault holding these lenses of glass made, like, what are they worth, $10,000 a piece? More or less, give or take. Yeah, and trying to put them on the body. Scared to death that you're going to drop it onto the pavement and smash it. I have a secret to tell you. We were scared too. So, but you did it. And so I loved going through all that with you guys. Second thing I want to tell you is, what was the second thing? I wanted to thank you. Thank you for letting me hang out with you guys. I mean, I loved it. I get energy from you guys. I'm not a young guy anymore, unfortunately, but I'm not as old as him. So, I'm teasing. He taught me cinematography in my film school, so there you go. My fault, I didn't learn anything, but anyway, so, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me hang out with you guys. I learned a ton from you. I don't know if you learned anything from me or not, but I learned a lot from you. Third thing I want to tell you is how proud I am of you guys. You killed it. I mean, you guys, I had some of you guys as underclassmen in screenwriting or in directing, and to see you now, oh my goodness, you've come so far. I don't know if you realize how far you've come. You made a film, and you made a good film. I'm sitting there watching these things like, man, I wasn't anything like you guys when I was your age at all. You guys have grown so much. And last thing I'm going to tell you, which is the hardest thing to tell you, is I'm going to miss you. Before I came up here, I looked over Google, how not to cry when you're giving a speech. And one thing is to distract, so I'm distracting myself. But I am going to miss you. So come back and visit. We spent 2 years together. And I've watched you grow. I've watched you become, you're not students anymore to me. You're my colleagues. And come back and visit. Don't be a stranger. I love you guys. That goes for all of you guys, not just my cohort. But you have made the past 2 years really, really rich for me. And I just want to say thank you. All right.
The next section professor is Mr. Curley. That's a great picture.
Thank you. Okay, so I think John Hout said it right. What are some things that we want to share with you to take away? And instead of recreating the wheel, I saw this speech on social media. It's by one of the greatest actors of our generation, who is now a director as well. So I thought I'd just read it to you, and then I'll tell you who he is. You might have already figured it out halfway through. But here are some of the things that he says, and this was actually at a commencement speech some years ago. He says, number one, put God first in everything you do. He says this of himself. He says, everything that you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected, I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God. Number two, fail big. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be frightening. And it's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there. But you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test that has 9 dots, and you have to draw 5 lines with a pencil within those 9 dots without lifting the pencil. What most people don't know is that the only way to do it was to go outside the box. So in life, don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals, life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals, simple goals. But have goals and understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to reach your goals, you must apply discipline, which you've already done to get here, and consistency every day, not just one day or 2 days. You have to work at it every day. Every day you have to plan. We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And I know all of you guys, this is from me, I know all of you guys are capable of it, because we've seen you guys in the editing bays, countless hours, middle of the night. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. Activity doesn't always mean productivity. Number 3, if I run out of time, Micah, just freeze the clock for me. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it. They got robbed. It's not how much you have. It's what you do with what you have. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is to help somebody else. Because of the gratification, goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that you get from helping others. Nothing's better than that. Not jewelry, not a big house, not a nice car. Helping others is where the success is in life. Finally, I pray you put, this is going to give it away, because I think when you hear this part, you'll know who it is. Finally, I pray you put your slippers way underneath your bed at night. So when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And while you're down there, say thank you for grace, thank you for mercy, thank you for understanding, thank you for wisdom, thank you for parents, thank you for love, thank you for kindness, thank you for humility, thank you for peace, thank you for prosperity. Thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in your heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it is already yours. I'll say it again. True desire in your heart, that itch you have, whatever it is that you want to do, that thing you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back, pull somebody else up. Teach one. Each one, teach one. And don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference. Anybody know who that was? That's Academy Award winner Denzel Washington, who also directed Fences. One of the greatest actors of our generation. So I'll give you my bit, and my bit would be focus on relationships. In the end, nothing will matter more than the relationships that you invest in, what you do for other people. Some things people will never know about. Some things they may know about. But that's really all that's left. So with that, I know we're saying goodbye, but I'm always available. You've got my cell number, you've got my email. You can always text me, call me. Our journey ends here as far as film school is concerned, but I'm always here for you. And you can always reach out to me. So if I can be of help to you, I'm here, reach out to me. Thank you guys. Love you.
So there was 4, then there was 3, and tonight there's 4 again. And I know we stole him to go with the juniors, but his heart, a part of his heart always stayed with you.
Hey, guys. Oh, man. Well, I'm sure you know what it's like to find something and then you lose it. About this time last year, I had a cohort, the Nelson cohort of 2019. And the program started doing so well and filling up so fast that, I got moved to a new cohort. And this weekend has been very emotional for me because I feel like I have found you again. And watching your films has blown me away because I've spent so much time reading your stories and talking to you and sitting in the office and going over beat by beat of everything you wanted to do in your film. And guys, I'm just so impressed and so happy for you. And missed you greatly. And it's just been so good to be here with you tonight and this past few nights. And I do have a lot to say to you guys, but I'd like to maybe say it personally, maybe over graduation weekend. And one thing I do want to say, and you guys know what I'm going to talk about a lot of times, from 201 to directing class to whatever, to what I've tried to beat into you about character, and that is the relentless pursuit of your intention. And so that is what your heroes should do throughout the story. And now I just want to say that's what you guys need to do, all of you guys, as you step out into your careers now. Relentless pursuit of your intention, always walking with the Lord. You know my story well enough to know that wasn't my case for many years, and I'm here to tell you, stay close to the Lord. Let him guide you, even at times when it doesn't feel like he's guiding you. He's guiding you if you stay with him. I love you guys. I'm going to miss you greatly. Thanks.
I think if you haven't heard anything else, you've heard that you're family. And family is forever. So these guys have shared their hearts with you. And it's honest. None of this is blowing smoke. It's all coming from a place that's really good. So now we're on to the kind of the entree, the main course for this evening. This is the award ceremony. Before we go into this, I'd like to have the connection officers stand up because they're one other group of people that we need to recognize. So Peyton Dixon, thank you. And Tori is in the back, and Amy is beside her. So let's give them all a big round of applause. You guys can sit down. But their job isn't finished tonight. After you leave here, that family that I was talking about, part of their job is going to be to maintain those connections. See, never mind. So, but maintain connection with all of you, no matter where in the globe you go and how you go. They're going to be touch points. They're going to be part of their responsibility is to maintain touch with you guys. So, without further ado, the awards. First off, everybody who made a film did a great job. Please. Some films that won't receive awards tonight are going to find a life in festivals, and you're going to find a lot of awards. So what are the awards tonight? It's not participation trophies, but these are awards that you all voted for each other. You all looked at the films and you decided how you wanted to rank them. We tabulated that and we looked at the scores. And so the winners of tonight are basically who you chose, your peers. And that's a pretty high award. That's a pretty wonderful thing. So remember that. I know the process isn't perfect, but it works. And one of the things I want to applaud you all for is looking at the tabulations and looking at all the scores. You guys, you did well. You voted honestly. You came to it and did what we asked you to do, which was look at the film and vote with your heart and not skew it, not take it in a direction that it shouldn't go in, but be able to move it and really recognize and be responsible to one another. So I applaud you for that. Also, a little bit about how this is going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the nominees for each award and then the winner of the award. The person who is named who actually did it, so for instance, if it's best cinematography, then the director of photography will be the person receiving the award, and they should come up. If the person receiving the award isn't here, then the producer or the director can come up and receive in place of, and we'll make sure that the person who actually wins the award gets it. And you'll have approximately, Mike, is it 2 minutes? 2 minutes where you can thank some folks and you can say some folks, but the time that it's going to take you to come up is going to be out of that 2 minutes. So you got to beat feet. You got to get up here fast. Does that make sense? Taylor and Jenna are going to help me with the awards, and Mr. Schultze is going to come up and actually present the awards to you. So we've gotten back some time. Without further ado, Mr. Johnson, we're ready. So the first award is for Best Production Design. Production design is not just wardrobe, and it's often, the fact that you're doing this on very limited budgets, locations have to be adapted. You don't have a whole lot of stuff, so you've got to find things that you can beg, borrow, and steal. So the whole idea of production design on no money and with a very limited amount of time is a daunting task. The look of the film, the color of the film, the color palette that you all work with, the wardrobe, again, spelling out characters. The instant we look at someone, we know who they are. We know what they're about. We know where they are emotionally. That all goes into production design. Dressing a set. There were several period pieces that just boggled my mind. I'm nitpicky about period pieces because when I see something that's not in the period, it kind of takes me out of it. But there were several that you guys did that were just amazing. So, Best Production Design, the nominees are Cries from the Ground, Darren Hunt. Posies, Emily Balloon. Percy and the Nightmare King, Kayla Sturgeon. Seams of War, Beth Passberg. And the winner is Cries from the Ground, Darren Hunt. And And it looks like, here we go.
On the T, okay. I want to say Jordan is relentless. And there were many times during this film shoot that I thought I was going to collapse. And he kept going and kept going. And everything that I did is only what he told me to do. And so he gets all the credit, other than obviously the Lord gets all the credit for it. But we're so grateful for you putting up with him, and it was a great shoot. We appreciate everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you. The next category, Best Cinematography. Cinematography isn't just camera. It's camera, it's exposure, it's filter, it's composition. It's also lighting. Where you place the camera. What we do is we tell stories with images. And the collaboration between a director of photography and a director is intense, and it has to be very close. Because the director of photography is realizing the director's vision. I could go on probably for like about a semester talking about this, but I won't. So, the nominees for Best Cinematography. Thursday, David Hendricks. Till Death Do Us Part, Kalo Tao. Cries from the Ground, Victoria Bruder. Seams of War, Olivia Schweikert. The winner, Till Death Do Us Part, Caleb Town.
Wow. Thank you. Number one, I just want to thank God for the fantastic nature shots we got on the beach. Wow. It was gorgeous. Colin, I want to thank you for writing this beautiful, beautiful story. I'm so happy I get to work with you. Olivia, my gaffer, bless you. You did amazing. I just want to thank my parents as well for supporting me and all the late nights coming home at 2 a.m. or whatever. Yeah, I just want to thank all of you guys. This has been an amazing 2 years, and I'm happy to work with you guys in the future. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Best sound design. The sound, Mr. Walls would say, is 80% of the picture. I think it's probably a good 50-50 marriage between the two, but the story is told with the sound, and the atmosphere is laid with the sound. And the mix, what's important, what comes forward, what comes in when it's surround sound. We had more surround sound projects this year. I was looking for Mr. Walls. How many did we have? 21? 20? 15 to 20. Okay, that was the one. There you are. You're back there. What are you doing back there? So we had 15 to 20 surround sounds, 7.1 and 5.1 surround sounds that were just amazing. You guys have upped it. Every year it's gotten more, but this is like by a factor of 10 probably. It was pretty amazing. So without further ado, the award for Best Sound Design, the nominees are oh, that's right. Oh, there we go. The Monster on Purgatory Mountain, Kelsey Halferty. Till Death Do Us Part, Caleb Tao. Yeah, it sounds like they're off. I didn't do this. Cries from the Ground. Is this one right, Michael? This one's right. So Cries from the Ground, Michael Hartman. If Only Yesterday, Michael Hartman. And the winner, Cries from the Ground, Michael Hartman.
Wherever Jordan is right now, where is he? There he is. Okay, so Jordan really did pretty much 98% of everything. Being, you know, at the beginning of the semester, they were like, okay, we have audio advisors, and Jordan was one of them alongside me. And right from the get-go, he just wanted to have somebody there with the second set of ears to sort of just say, this is dumb, or this is not dumb. So, I mean, really, it should just be Jordan's name up there. But just while I'm up here, dude, I'm super proud of you. You really did an amazing job with your movie, and it was just one of the coolest things to see it from the beginning now to the end. Just sitting in THX with you, so many hours you put into this film. All of this credit goes to you, my friend. Even though that's my name, it should just say Jordan on here. But yeah, I mean, I'm just super proud of you, man. I'm really excited to see wherever God sort of leads you on this journey, even if it's not in sound design. There's always a place for you there just because of the work that you've done. So I'm really proud of you, man.
The next category is Best Editing. We talk about the story being written 3 times. Written in pre-production in the script, written once again when we shoot it, and then rewritten in editing. One of the joys of watching and working with you guys is watching your faces when you discover that the film you shot isn't the film you thought you shot, but then working through it and finding the film that you really have. And God is so good that sometimes you look at it and you realize the film that you've got is far better than what you thought you set out to do. So that's the joy, the magic of editing. So the nominees for Best Editing: Basic Necessities, Tori Bruder. Deeper, Darker, Sean Barlow. Thursday, David Hendricks. Writer's Block, Robert Oram. And the winner, Deeper Darker, Sean Barlow.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I didn't think of anything to say. I could not have done this without the help of so many people when my brain was mashed potatoes at 2 a.m. I'd like to thank Bobby. I'd like to thank Amy. I'd like to thank Doobie, Nathan, anyone that came and just gave me a little bit of advice. I really could not have gotten to the point that I did without any of you. Guys, it's such an amazing feeling to shoot a movie and then see it all come together in the editing process. And that's the point where it really becomes your film and where it becomes the film that you want people to see. And I'm so glad that you're able to see this film, and thank everyone so much for helping me. My family, first and foremost, God especially. Anyone who donated money to help me make this film. I really could not have done this without any of you. Thank you all so much.
The next category, Best VFX. What can I say about VFX? These people dwell in darkness and do bizarre and wonderful things with images. A great VFX artist can make or break a story. And you all know now that there are very simple, mundane things like screen replacement. I can't remember who it was that complained in their Q&A about having way too many screens with way too many tracking markers on it. Sean, was that you? So that you come to a new appreciation of a good VFX artist and what they're doing and their attention to detail. So, without further ado, the nominees for Best VFX. '51, Matt Finley, David Hendricks. Deeper Darker, Sean Barlow. Writer's Block, Robert Oren. Cries from the Ground, Jordan Hunt. And the winner, Writer's Block, Robert Oren.
I'm shaking right now. I gotta put this down before I break it. Okay. Yeah. I want to apologize, especially to my family, about over winter break. I was here for long hours, and I got a call at like 5 in the morning from my mom saying like, "Where are you right now?" And it's like some parents worry about their kids going out getting drunk and drinking. Like my mom was worrying that I was editing too much. So, yeah. And I especially want to thank friends for Kayla for being in the film. She was a phenomenal actress. But like the person who taught me all VFX was Jonathan Howe and Juan Novales. Like they were such a pinnacle like for this film. It's funny, they have such different editing styles. So it's kind of like my editing style is like their love child. So they never knew how to feel about my film, like in the edit bay. And together kind of just they gave me my own voice through editing. It's true that each different editor has their own voice, so thank you for giving me that, and just thank you again for that opportunity. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
The next category is Best Screenplay. One of the things that Mr. Schultze brought to this department, he brought two major things that separate us from other film schools. One of them is sound design and sound, and Mr. Walls. The other one is that we're very story-centric. The story is the heart. It's the center of everything. And the first expression of the story is the screenplay. And it doesn't surprise anyone that Mr. Schultze is a very good writer and a great, writing a screenplay is really one of his passions. So it is the center of who we are. Dan Gordon stresses story. He stresses the expression and how it is the heart of what we do. So the nominees for Best Screenplay. Arbitrium, Julia Lindquist. Basic Necessities, Victoria Bruder. Coming Out as a Vampire, Elijah Lloyd. Try Me, Young-hee Kim. The winner, coming out as a vampire, Elijah Lloyd.
Wow. I just want to thank Liberty University for making me have constant anxiety about getting things turned in on time and forcing me to shove this film play out. And I'm really glad everyone enjoyed it. It's been an honor to work with a fantastic cast and crew while I was here, especially just Bobby Orm and Jordan Pruitt for pulling it together and telling the story that plagued me for about 2 hours in a dead rush in the lab. So thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
The next category. Do you want to go? Best Actress. Without actors, we really wouldn't have films. And casting is, we don't teach people in this department, in this program, to act in front of the screen. So we have to go out and cast. We have to go find someone who can bring to life the character that we've created. And that is a difficult thing. But then once we find someone, and one of the things about this week that I think has been amazing, there's been some fantastic actors in some great performances that you all directed and that came to life on the screen. So, without further ado, the nominees for Best Actress are Life, Isabel Almoyen. Posies, Taylor Dudley. Try Me, Fiona McPherson. If Only Yesterday, Catherine Walters. The winner, If Only Yesterday, Catherine Walters. Accepting for Catherine is Michael Hartman.
Cool. Kat lives in Tennessee, so she can't really come out. I asked her to, but she was actually on another shoot. So, yeah, working with her was just such an awesome experience. Just being able to see this story sort of play out through her eyes and little Taylor's eyes, who's sitting in the front, was just a blessing to me. Just learning, I don't know, Mr. Wales said something earlier about like being a sophomore in the directing class or whatever. And that was one of the first times I ever heard the term directing in the right sense of how it means to really just allow your actors and talk their language. Because sometimes it's hard to sort of speak the language of film to people who just have one thing on their mind, which is just to act. And being able to do that and to receive this award for that is just an incredible thing. Just because she's just an incredible actress. She brought it every single day. There were some heavy emotional scenes in this film. And every single second, she was either sitting in a corner with her earphones in or something so she wasn't being distracted, just because she wanted to do the best job that she could. And that really showed, I think, in the film, and I'm really proud of her. And I just wish she could be here to sort of receive this award instead of me. But I just wanted to share that experience with all of you guys, because she's not here, that she just is an incredible individual. She just brings it every single day, and I was just super proud of her for the work that she did. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
The next category, of course, is Best Actor. And there were some amazing performances this past week that we were able to laugh at and cry at and be amazed by. Bringing a character to life on the screen and making us forget who that person is pretty amazing. I also am, something I was supposed to say at the very beginning of this, the nominees are the top 4 that you guys voted for. So if you've been nominated, that's an honor. And the winner, it would be then the top of that. So without further ado, the Best Actor award goes to, that doesn't, I'm way ahead. The nominees are Basic Necessities, Travelin' Pantana, Coming Out as a Vampire, Bobby Orr, Life, Travelin', and I'm going to kill your last name again, Pantana, If Only Yesterday, Alexander McPherson. And the winner, Coming Out as a Vampire, Bobby Orr. Remember, your peers voted you.
Thank you. Am I still convulsing up there? Yeah, I am. All right. I was talking to a lot of people before this nomination because I saw this yesterday and I was like, what? So, yeah, some people were like, should you accept this award or not? Because there's like some actors out there who really hone their abilities. And yeah, I've acted in a few small things that were fun, but like I never really delved into that world. But I really will accept this award because of Elijah. He was a great director. Some of the things that he said to me, I can't really say up here because it was kind of unconventional and a little inappropriate. He kind of took me to the side and directed me personally sometimes. Yeah, but he was a great director. Thank you, Elijah, for that opportunity. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Go out to Elijah. Is it Elijah? Oh.
The next category, Best Musical Score. The music for our films took a drastic step forward when we were able to partner with the music school. And Dr. Schmall and that whole partnership has just become a wonderful thing. Part of that, the credit of that goes to Mr. Walls and that partnership. So without further ado, the nominees for Best Musical Score. A year ago yesterday, Ben Knight and Brock Snow. Johnny Rock, Isaac Brenny, When Tides Recede, Ryan Baker. Cries from the Ground, Paul Kaufman. The winner a year ago yesterday, Ben Knight and Brock Snow.
Thank you, Tori, for being persistent and getting me in on this project. I wasn't really up for it at first because I was really busy, but she's like, come on, friend, do it, friend. and going in on the set for the first time and seeing just the caliber of what she was trying to capture, and George, I don't know if he's here, but just seeing how he is here, okay. He does such a good job of capturing how to play the cello, because just seeing just how, on what level everyone was at in the project was really, really awesome. And it was really cool to see how God orchestrated everything, because having her brother write the themes, and God has been showing me how much I want to be an arranger and orchestrator, literally working with this project with the cello abilities God's given me, and also just eventually arranging those themes, and then in the end getting really awesome players from the School of Music. We really need to thank them for being a part of this, but there's a lot of people involved in this, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. So thank you, Tori.
Our next category is one of the big ones, Best Director. I loved what Michael said, that in the sophomore year in 2002, he learned what directing was, and speaking film and talking and how to work through it. One of the things that you all do is you write and you direct your thesis film. Whether you're going to become a director of photography or go into audio post or go into audio or production design, being in the position of directing, making the multitude of decisions that has to be made when you're a director, will make you better in all of those positions. One of the things that I know I say often is that what we do is serve one another, and the greatest servant on the set is the director. Because if they don't serve everyone, no one else can do their job. I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Schultze this spring on Eleanor's Bench. He's an amazing servant. He made decisions and understood and worked with what the situation was, and worked as a director with a servant's heart. And that was an incredible blessing. And I know you all walked through that. So, the nominees for Best Director. Basic Necessities, Tori Bruder. Coming Out as a Vampire, Elijah Lloyd. The Prey, Benjamin Hinkleman. Cries from the Ground, Jordan Hunt. And the winner for Best Director, The Prey, Benjamin Hinkleman.
I really did not expect that at all. So this was a very personal film to me. As I talked about in the Q&A, it came out of a lot of just very difficult things. But the thing that really surprised me, oh man, I'm shaking, holy crap. But the thing that really surprised me on set was the fact that just because it's a personal film doesn't mean that. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that my crew was absolutely amazing. Every single one of them. And I just can't thank you guys enough for bringing something that was just so personal to me. All of you are just amazing people and amazing friends, and I'm just so glad that I had the opportunity to work with you and to be at the school with Professor Wales, Professor Miller, all the people who helped and supported me, and of course Mom and Dad and everyone. I know Dad's here. I don't know if my mom and other siblings are here, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys. You guys are great.
The next category is the big one, the Best Picture. Best Picture is when everything comes together. It's not just the best cinematography or the best production design, but everything comes together and it serves the story. It's when the whole team is knocking it out of the park. So, the nominees for Best Picture . Basic Necessities, Tori Bruder. Coming Out as a Vampire, Elijah Lloyd. Try Me, Go-hee Kim. Cries from the Ground, Jordan Hunt. And the 2019 winner of Best Picture, Cries from the Ground, Jordan Hunt.
Oh, wow.
there are so many people to thank, and I know I'm not going to be able to get to them all, but just thank you for all the people that have contributed in any way, whether that was financially or just giving time and energy and money. So many people gave us locations or a horse or the reenactors that came out. Just so many people contributed to this film, and it would not have been possible without each and every one of you. So I stand up here as just one person representing a literal army of people that made this film happen. So I hope that at the end of the day we've made something that we can all be proud of. And I'm just really honored to work with all of you. I really think that over the course of the semester we've gone from classmates to I really consider you guys colleagues. And there's just been so many fantastic films that have come out this semester. And I'm so excited to work with all of you in the future and to see what you all create. So it's just been a blessing. Thank you.
Doug doesn't know this, but we had an Academy Award moment with the wrong envelope. But it wasn't because it wasn't deserving. But if I can get Elijah Hunt to come up, and if I can get Victoria Brewer to come up. Can both of them come on up, please?
Elijah Lloyd.
Elijah Lloyd, yeah.
I'm helping you out.
So first thing I'll say is I've already told you what I thought about his film. I mean, I couldn't laugh hard enough, so very deserving. And he was obviously nominated, but there's been some mix-up between what's up here and what actually was I think, the winner of the end of the day. So, of course, you win it. You deserve it. You have it. We're glad you did it. We're also going to, though, make another trophy because at the end of the day, it's probably 1/10 of a point in reality, and that's where a lot of these are. And Doug can speak to that better than me.
Sometimes under like 1/100th of a point difference.
So I just want you to take a minute. I just want to let you know you're also a winner today in the screenwriting area.
Best screenplay. Tori Bruder.
Thank you. I do? Okay. Hi, Elijah.
I was a little confused how they spelled my name, so yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I really didn't expect this at all. So, for screenplay?
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes, best screenplay.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I don't like speaking in front of people. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I don't have a speech prepared whatsoever. I just wanted to give a shout out to my entire cast and crew. It was really amazing being able to do this, and it was such an experience. And my family that came down from New Jersey, and I really didn't expect this at all. So thank you to everybody, and thank you for voting me for this. It's very humbling. Thank you.
So that is the awards for the Student Showcase for 2019. Give yourselves all a big round of applause. I do believe Mr. Hout and Mr. Johnson want to come up. Is Mr. Johnson coming?
He's coming.
Okay.
We'll enter together.
Hey, everybody. Hi, folks. Well, John and I wanted to come up. We kind of decided to do this last
Yeah, we did
minute.
this. Yeah, we decided to do this
We're
right
like,
before
hey,
we
look,
started.
we didn't schedule ourselves at all, so, we
whoops.
thought, we didn't even have a slide with my picture on the.
I know, it's a
as big as the
crime, isn't
building. But we wanted to come up here and just kind of talk about that this whole awards show tonight, that ultimately we couldn't have done it without all of you students. Without all the wonderful films that you guys have created, that this night is for you guys, and we wanted to make sure that we thanked you for all the wonderful films that you guys did in the 2 years that we spent with you guys. So
Yeah, and for all the ridiculous deadlines I put you through to get the films ready to show this week, I know that was a lot of pressure for you guys.
it was a ton of pressure, and you guys all went through it with grace and dignity, with long hours.
Yes.
So thank you guys for an awesome 2 years and a wonderful showcase with all your films.
What he said. He's got it.
So before I let you guys go, I want to kind of lay out what the rest of the evening is, at least as far as I understand it. What we're going to do, I believe, next is a dinner break, And then we'll be coming back and we will be showing an encore presentation of all the, yes, you're lurking. Oh, that's right. We do have a video after I get done yakking at you. Should I tell them who it's from? Nah? Okay, you'll figure it out. So I'm gonna finish talking, then there will be a video, then you'll be released for a dinner break. Then we will have an encore presentation of all the award-winning films, which please stay and applaud and cheer and yell and scream. And then after that, at the very end, we have an alumni from the first class. He did a short film, and it's the premiere of that film, and I'm blanking on the title. Well, it's Walseen Meteor. I never say his last name right, and I've known him for years. But Walseen's film, and the name of his film, Walseen, what's the name of your film? The Fighting Road. It's an excellent film, and I encourage you to stay for it. It will happen after the encore presentations. So thank you very much, and let's watch a video. See you for the encore.